This is part 14, uh, chapter 14, Newcomer. Naruto was training as hard as he could. Why? Because he finally had the free moment. He had a little less than a month until the Chunin exams. His first match was against Neji Hyuga. He wasn't worried. In fact, he was looking forward to the putting the Hyuga in his place. The only real competition he had was Gaara. The rest were just there. That didn't mean much. He would take them lightly. He wouldn't take them lightly. He would give it his all in every fight. Unfortunately, he couldn't train as often as he would like. Why? The problem was the Uchiha and Hatake. Naruto often sent them around trying to take his techniques. He tried going to the Hokage, but it wasn't enough. Without actual evidence, it would be hard. It would be his word against theirs. Even the Hokage couldn't push people without evidence. So Naruto decided to do things his way. That included using the foxes as guards. They may not be very numerous, but they were very skilled guards. They, however, weren't his only problems. He sensed two more strangers watching him. Samurai. I'm pretty sure that's a person. Samurai was one of the, if not most attractive women in Konoha. She was both feared and respected in Konoha. Her business-like personality and skills had sought to that. Then, given a mission, she went through without question, even one such as this. Engage Naruto, aka the Mirage Fox, and see if the rumors are true. If they are, seduce and become impregnated with the child. If not, then obtain sword and return to Kumago. Naruto Uzumaki, recent graduated and former dope of his class, fought Zabuza Momochi twice and caused the slaughter near 200 bandits. Turned Momochi into a Konoha shinobi and liberated the Wave Country. Severed the hand of Orochimaru of the Sannin and forced him to flee. Konoha really needed to keep an eye on their secrets. That kind of information drew attention. You never know when there might be a spy listening. Now, if only she could find him. Back to Naruto. Naruto was tired of hiding from the strangers. He would meet one of them head on. He would do this at his land. It was better to have an advantage of some home turf, in case things got messy. Now all he had to do was sit back and wait for the arrival. Home. I'm looking for Naruto Uzumaki, she spoke. Are you him? I am, he answered, and this is private property. Shumai was impressed. Most of the time, men would just be staring at her chest or turned into stuttering. Not Naruto. He was relaxed but also on guard. Must be the blindfold, she thought. I'm a Suma, Jonin from Kumo. Dang. If you guys can help me pronounce it, I'll put the name in the comments. If I remember. Here, I am Samuel Jonin from Kumo. I hear that you are pretty good with the sword, she spoke. I wish to test that. Fine, he spoke. It would be good training. As he drew the sword, she stopped him. I would like you to use this sword. She handed him a well-forged katana, if that's okay. So that's your game, he thought. Find out if it's me or the sword. Fine. I have to end it as quickly as possible. Naruto wasn't foolish enough to think he could beat a Jonin in a head-on fight. Even with his trickery, he was highly outmatched. Begin. She charged him with speed worthy of her rank. She entered striking distance. She did so without hesitation. Invert. Samuel was shocked. Naruto floated behind her, upside down. He had his sword pointed to her back, ready to strike. She knew he had a clear shot, at least one lethal area. As you can see, the skill is my own, he stated, shocking her even further. Not the sword. I see, she whispered. What gave me away? The minute you stated who you were and where you're from, he answered. Why else would a foreign Jonin be interested in me? I was careless. She said. Now, what do you really want? He asked. Be honest. I'm a censor, he explained. I'll find out if you're lying. Then this sword goes in. Samuel mentally cursed. Censors were a pain to deal with in the shinobi world. You couldn't lie to one of them, and you definitely couldn't hide from one. I was ordered to seduce and bear your child, she answered. I see. Let's begin. She began undressing. Wait, stop, he shouted, dropping the genjutsu. Samuel paused and looked around. Is this not a sanctuary? No, it's not that. She cut her off. Am I not satisfactory? No, you're very beautiful. He paused, thinking of what to say next. Samuel couldn't contain her blush. Back in Kumago, she had been called both hot and sexy, but never beautiful. She had to admit, it was a very nice change. I don't get it. Why was he turning her down? Most men would have jumped at the chance for her, maybe. If I have a brother. She stopped when he saw. I have a brother. If she stopped, then she stopped when she saw him shudder. Never mind. You are very attractive, he stated. I just don't like being used. He yelled. I see. She was surprised by the amount of hate in his voice. What should I do now? What could she do? If she left, then she would be a laughing stock in Kumago, a kunoichi that couldn't even seduce a teenage boy. Losing to him was no problem. He proven to have real skill, but not being able to seduce him. So Samuel felt like laughing to herself. Would it be easier to think of it? Think Would it be easier to think if her back wasn't killing her? She couldn't keep it in. The groans ached out her voice. Why was she cursed with such large breasts? If it was a question she had asked herself often. Are you okay? He asked. My back is killing me, she admitted. I'm not surprised, he admitted. With a chest like that, who wouldn't be? Yeah, well, so like he's the rest eyeing my chest. Want a massage? He asked, earning a glare. I've been told I'm good at them. Fine, she answered after some thought. If he tried anything, then it could help her complete her seduction mission. He took his jacket off and laid it on the ground. She removed her shirt with Naruto looking away and laid on it. Once he began, she felt as if she were in heaven. She would let a moan of pleasure nearly constantly of her needling kneeing her back. You are good, she admitted. What kind of oil are you using? No oil, he stated. He hesitantly said, my blood. Explain. She spoke with a tensing her palms. My blood has healing properties. He didn't elaborate any further. That's cool. She began to relax under his lean hands. It was long before she began to feel drowsy. After a while longer, she fell asleep under Naruto's working hands. Naruto was very surprised of a Kumon Jonin from a foreign shinobi had fallen asleep in another's hands. Her back must have been aching her for a while. Such a vulnerable state she left them. Such a vulnerable state left them as easy targets for anyone. As she slept, Naruto heard a wonderful sound. It was gentle music that called for him to follow. He did so. Who am I to deny music? Once he reached the source, he was on guard. The music came from a woman. The music came from a woman. I lost my spot. The music came from a woman playing a flute. That wasn't why he was on guard. No, he was on guard for two other reasons. First reason, he was on guard because she was the second stranger following him. Second, the music she was playing was laced with genjutsu. Tayuya. Tayuya was a feared kunoichi of the sound. Her genjutsu had skills and had made her one of the sound for Orochimaru's personal guards. She had been given a mission by Orochimaru himself: seduce Naruto and bear his child or face punishment. Failure for Orochimaru was not taken lightly. Unlike most who thought it was only the sword, he knew Naruto's ability came from another source, the Kyuubi. Hello, Naruto greeted. This is private property. I'm sorry. The redhead spoke. I just want a peaceful place to play. Well, if it's okay, he asked. I like her music. He thought, Can I hear some more? He said. You dumbass, she thought. Now I can seduce the shithead and get knocked up. Not looking forward to the 9 months. Well, Orochimaru said he had plenty of stamina, so it shouldn't be too bad. She began to play her most alluring music. Under the tone was a light-laced seduction genjutsu. As the moments passed, she noticed no change in the blonde. He just stood there calmly. She decided to study a little bit more subtly add a little bit more chakra to the song as she played. Nothing. What's wrong with this shithead? He would be mindless. He should be mindless. Her thoughts were cut short as the song ended. That was amazing, he complimented. Now tell me who you are and what you want, he ordered. I want the truth or your head comes off. She felt two sharp blades pressed against her neck. Looking around, she saw two solid clones with their weapons. Drawn. When the fuck did he make those? Isn't it obvious, Uzumaki? A familiar voice asked. She's here for the same reason as me. Hello, Samuel. Naruto greeted. I see you enjoyed your nap. Who the hell is Melon Tits over there? Tayuya asked herself. Yes, I slept very well, Samuel stated. I was surprised to find she paused. Untouched, unchained, Naruto offered. All of the above, she admitted. I was told that I was only going to... Hey shithead, I'm still here, Tayuya shouted. And who the hell is it Melon Tits over there? Why did she say I was here for the same reason? Just as I stated, Samuel answered. Ignore the name. You're here to seduce Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki, right? What if I am? She challenged. The clones pressed their blades closer to her neck. Then you should give up, Naruto answered. As I stated to Samuel-chan over there, that earned a blush from said-chan. I do not like to be used. Well, shithead, she ordered. I do not want to fail my leader, so drop your pants. No. Hey, Melon Tits, what do you say to a team up? Tayuya called. He can't stop both of us, and we'll both get what we want. Well, she seemed to think it over. Maybe you two should hear my proposition. Naruto stated. I'm sure both sides would be happy. Samuel and Tayuya shared a look before nodding. We're listening. Naruto reached into his coat and pulled out two scrolls. One had been prepared in advance for this very occasion. They tried opening it, but he stopped them. Didn't want people to know. I want you to hand this to your leader, Naruto stated to Samuel. If they agreed, then I want you to personally return to me. He looked to Tayuya. This one's for you. You already have these, shithead? Tayuya asked in disbelief. How? She said. I knew you two have been watching me for a while, he answered. You shouldn't try sneaking up on a censor. They mentally... Samuel did at least curse. Of course you don't sneak up on a censor, they thought. They were trackers. It was what they were made for. Fine, Samuel agreed. I'll have the answer as soon as possible. Same here, shithead, Tayuya answered. They both laughed. If this kid was as good as they said, then he was offering something good. hot springs. Naruto had sent the kunoichi off a few days ago. He was expecting their leaders to respond pretty soon. With what they were bringing, off, I expected. With what he was offering, he expected an answer soon. After a hard day's training, he decided to relax. There's no reason he should give himself work, plus he earned this time off. Now, if only someone would stop that perverted giggling. Wait a second, it's coming from the female side. With great skill and grace, Naruto jumped out of the water and made his way to the female side, and followed a unfamiliar chakra. What he found was an old man staring through a rough hole. "Hey pervert, stop picking on those women." As those words left his mouth, it entered the man's ears. The man looked at Naruto as if it was an insult. "Did you just call me a pervert?" he asked. "Yes. I am no mere pervert," he stated. "I am Jiraiya." Naruto's mind began to fade as some crazy intro went on. "And I am a super pervert." "Thank you," Naruto stated. "Oh, you have read my book?" Jiraiya asked. Are you thanking me for the wonderful details?" "No," he answered. "I'm thanking you for digging yourself a grave." He undid his blindfold. "But for you, honestly, I'll reward you." Jiraiya made the mistake of looking Naruto in the eyes. Naruto motioned for Jiraiya to turn around. The Toad Sani did what was greeted by a gracious sight. It was a horde of beautiful women. It was a horde of beautiful women dressed in nothing but towels. They were making their way to him with a certain sway in their hips. "Jiraiya-sama," they called. "We love you. Do you love us?" "Yes," he screamed. "I love all of you." But why would any of the they silenced him by putting a finger to his lips. "Have you heard of tough love?" one asked. "What's that?" The one who had silenced him earlier answered, "By headbutting him on the nose." There wasn't much force in it, just the surprise of an attractive woman headbutting him. Then it happened. Their beautiful faces were gone. In their place were horrible reptile-like scales and black pus-filled eyes. As soon as he saw it, they vanished, as if they were never there. One of the women had punched him in the face. This blow had force behind it. It knocked the Sani to the ground. "Well, why?" he asked. "Sometimes love hurts, Jiraiya-sama," they answered. "And we all love you a lot." They began to grab weapons from nowhere and holding them menacingly. But Jiraiya was cut off by a blow to the head. The women continued to beat the Sanin with the skill and strength of a pack of kunoichi. He begged for mercy, but there was none for him. "You have left me no choice," Jiraiya shouted, summoning Ditsu. Under him, a giant toad appeared. It wasn't too large, around the size of a large human. "The frog won't save you from our love, Jiraiya-sama," they purred. "Frog," the toad shouted. "I am not." "Frog," the toad shouted. "I'll show you a frog." The toad gave a mighty blow with a water jutsu. The blast was enough for them to begin to dissolve, as if they were melting. Such a waste, Jiraiya whispered. As he dispelled the toad, they were such inspirations. We forgive you, a feminine voice spoke. Jiraiya looked and saw that the woman had begun to reform. Their melted skin began to smoke and bubble. In mere seconds, they became living flames. That's and then that's a new meaning to the word hot. How? He asked. We forgive you because we love you, they answered. And we love you to death. Each tackled the Sonic as one. With an unbalanced weight and fear of burning to death, the Sonic fell over. He fell into the water of the empty hot spring to douse the flames. The water merely caught the flames. The water merely caught the flames as well. Naruto watched as he burned. Save me, he begged. Why? Hello, Naru. Oh my Kami. Haku couldn't believe the sight. Hello, Haku-chan, Naruto greeted. Where have you been? No, we have to help him. She prepared to freeze the water. No, Naruto shouted. Let him cook. Why? She was afraid to answer. Because I'm having frog legs for dinner. To the Reikage-sama. The Reikage-sama wants to know if you honestly can pull your end off. Samya stated. Same with me, shithead, Tayuya stated. I can, but only if they agree, Naruto spoke. Then it's a deal, Samuel answered. You better not be lying, Uzumaki. I put in a word for you. Let's begin, Naruto stated. Begin what, Samuel? You've lost your chance at a piece of this ass, Tayuya stated. No, Naruto waved her off. My training. Training? Why the hell would we train you, Tayuya asked. Well, I need to win to hold up my end of the bargain, don't I? Naruto asked. Since this was a way around your failed seduction mission, they flinched at the shame. You two need to ensure that I win. That answers her. Tayuya stated, why would I train you? So that you can brag about it. He tried. He had no real reason for Tayuya. I bet you think you're so damn clever, Tayuya growled. Don't you, shithead. Do we have a deal? He asked, still calm. Fine, Samuel answered. Oh, what the hell, Tayuya spoke. I can torture you for a while. Don't you mean train? I know what I fucking said. Naruto was enjoying a little break from training, at least until his sensei find him. I think those women are trying to kill me, he thought. Hello, Naruto. No, hello, Uzumaki-san, a new voice greeted. How are you? Naruto jumped away and drew his sword on high alert. He looked to see an old man. A bandaged old man. Whoever he was, he wasn't to be taken lightly. He was able to sneak up on Naruto, but get too close. As Naruto posed his sensory ability, he realized something. I still can't sense him, but I can sense dozen others. How did I miss that? Each were well hidden. and each were at least Jonin level. With the chakra they had. Who are you? Naruto asked. What do you want? I have an offer for you, he stated. Your name? Naruto repeated. Danzo, he answered. I'm listening. I would like to train you, he stated, for the finals. What's the catch? There's always a catch, Naruto thought. No catch at all, he answered. Even if Naruto couldn't sense him, which he still couldn't, he could have said no. He knew when he was being lied to. It was something that severed him over the ears. Served him over the ears. No deal. There's always a catch, Naruto answered. Very well. Let's say this meeting never happened. He placed a scroll on the floor. And this is insurance I'm sure you'd enjoy. He gave Naruto a calculating look. If you can use it. Danzo gave the ground a simple tap with the cane. The hidden shinobi were disappearing like roaches. When the lights turned on after a moment, they were gone. And so was Danzo. He had a clone check the scroll for traps. He may have been curious, but he was even more cautious. Living in Konoha had burned into his memory. What he read was enough to interest the QB. This will be the perfect payback for the thieving Uchiha. He was in a real good mood. He was in a real good mood. Only one thing could make it better. Hey shithead, we've been looking for you, Tayuya stated. Naruto wasn't surprised. Samuel Sensei, Tayuya Sensei, he called. How would you two like to go on a dinner date with me? You know, as a date. That's the end of part 14, chapter 14. I'm not sure if I said Samuel right. I'll try to remember to put it in the description if you guys can help me spell it out. And Tayuya as well. Well, if you guys have any comments on the video, if you guys could please like, subscribe, or comment, that would be appreciated. And thanks for watching or listening.